Welcome, my name's Chris, and this week I have another rhythm workout video for you, part 2 from what I started last week, where I went over 2 exercises. I will briefly touch on them, and then I'll show you 2 more exercises that I'd like you to do with me today. Any instrument, just jump in with me, and I think you will get something out of these, and hopefully will be a good role model for you as you work on your own rhythmic feel and practice everything in a rhythmic context. It really is the most important intuition, I think, and the better you get at it, the deeper your skills get in every other area of music. So let me review these first 2 exercises real quick from last week, and I'll link that video. I've got a metronome out here. I've got Metronome Online pulled up, but I really dig Pro Metronome, the app. I'll link that as well. So the first exercise from last week was just basically playing slowly in general, across the board, but especially things that you're working on, like pieces, anything exact, scales. I'm going to pick a G major scale. You can play it with me if you like. And I'm going to play 3 beats per note. So kind of in 3/4 time as dotted half notes. That's one way to think of it. So let's give it a shot. Just 1 octave, and I'm going to talk about it as I play it. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice and slow. This is 60. So 1 beat per second. And the point of this is to really be able to observe your practicing and to play slowly with a lot of control. This is especially true for prepared pieces and you're trying to play exact stuff. But in general, like you could use right now with a scale and tag information when you're playing slowly, I find our brain really appreciates the order this brings, right? And I have to implement a lot of muscle memory here. Not only muscle memory with where the notes are, but the timing of the notes too, right? I have to get that automatic feel of rhythm, which is the whole point of rhythm in my opinion. Let's just go up again. So I would practice this too with specific pieces, specific riffs. If you got to play an exact riff note for note, you got to really get into this. And no matter the instrument, doesn't matter, piano, guitar, anything, drums. I know the pros practice like this way, this very controlled, slow way. It is like the secret of the greats, right? Because you can really get into the details. If you're working on technically hard stuff, I would just go slow like this. And then not to mention the tagging stuff, tagging information to these notes. So saying 2A, singing 1, and of course you can go faster. But you want to get into the habit of that. This is a really separating skill I see that successful musicians can do this. And I mean successful in that they get stuff done that they want to get done. They're enjoying their practice. It's automatic. Their practice has this automatic nature to it. The rhythm has an automatic nature. They're not having to think about the rhythm or count. And they also have the restraint to practice accurately and well. That's what really slow practice brings the most of, is accuracy. I can just slowly feed this information to my fingers and my ears, and it's all contextual and in time and correct, right? And we can build on that. That's scalable. The next thing from last week, just briefly, is to divide a metronome beat or any steady beat into different parts. So the main 4 numbers to focus on here are 1 through 4. So saying that can we play like a G scale again? That's half notes, but let's go to quarter notes now. You can do this with 1 note, just like 1 single note, or a scale, or chords even. Then we can go and play in 1/8 notes, right? The point of this, let's do 1/8 notes here, is to be able to switch between these common rhythmic streams. How about triplets? Really feel that beat, right? The slower the better, really. So you could go, this is 50, let's say we'll go down to 40, which is the slowest this met goes, unfortunately. But if I start here, then 1/8 notes become nice and wide, right? This is like 80 quarter notes, right? And then triplets. Again, you can do this with any content, anything you know. Switching between 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 especially is really helpful because that is getting from duple to triple and triple back to duple. So going from like 1/8 notes to triplets two 16th notes, back to triplets, back to eighth notes, right? You can even do it quicker, right? You could practice going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, something like that. So maybe every beat we switch. 1, 2, and triplet, 16th note, and oh yeah, I forgot the order. Something like that. Eighth note, triplet, 16th, triplet, right? Get creative. This again is just like this holistic framework that I use to really make sure I can traverse these rhythmic these kind of rhythmic streams, if you will. So I find it helpful, and I do this a lot with different things. I will even practice improvising in one of those only. So you can use it if you practice soloing and improvisation. You can also scale it up like I did in the first exercise to 1 through 8. So include 5, 6, and 7, and 8 notes per beat. So that gets them into 30-second notes, which makes you have to play very slowly, right? I don't have a lot of chops myself, so I have to keep this stuff slow, but I do have a command or some command of these rhythms because I just regularly make myself play in them. So I don't want to be kind of blindsided by them in a piece, right? Or if I have a certain feel I'm going for, like to play 6 notes per beat or 4 notes per beat, I just want to be really clear on that. So now, enough review. Let's jump in with these 2 new exercises. So the first one is called the grid. And this is, I guess it will be the 3rd exercise because the first 2 were on the last video. So this idea is basically, we're going to start to really get into subdivision. This is something that I learned from drums, and a lot of drummers do this and teach this. This idea is going to be playing 16th notes. So I'm going to get my med out again. Let's try like 60. And what we're going to do is we're going to play every partial of the 16th, meaning we're going to play the first partial, which is the downbeat. Easier to feel, right? That's kind of what we typically think of. And then we're going to play the second partial. So that's the E, right? 1 E and 2 E and. That's how I count them. The third partial is the and. All right? And then the fourth partial is the So on guitar, I will do this on piano as well. But on guitar, you kind of want to be mindful of the pick going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. In general, we want to connect our body to the rhythm and make sure that there's a sense, a symbiotic connection there, right? So a drummer would go right, left, often, or left, right. But so we want to kind of get this going, this motion, and I could even maybe pulse these notes like this. So I'm pulsing that downbeat. So try to feel that. I'm just playing a G. So we're just trying to get into this kind of thing where we have a lot lined up, right, technically. On piano, just keep it going. You could do this where you're maybe both hands are playing. You can get a pedal in there too, especially. So we're trying to feel the beat, right, and try to feel that downbeat. And imagine also 16ths. Right, we're trying to get that in there. So we have that going. Now here's the second partial. So again, on guitar, you might try this as an up. Because connecting our body to it makes it really easy to feel. It's not like, right, if I'm not just like hanging out and trying to hit that, but you can do it that way too, but I want to feel the beat. I want to be connected. We need to try with the chord. G major 7, if you know it, or G. And on piano, what you might get into, or another instrument that could be applicable. So my left hand could be that quarter note pulse. And I'll say briefly about piano and guitar, which are my main instruments, and I guess drums too. But all those, there's a kind of a physical correlate to this. So on guitar, I mentioned the strumming. So you can practice this stuff without a note, right? So that's really good to kind of get into, is just get your hand, my mic's obscuring my hand, sorry. But get your hand in that flow, right? So 16th notes are really easy to get in this flow because we have a lot of down up motion that makes sense with 16ths because there's 4 and we've got down and up, so that's 2 that goes in there even. When it comes to triplets, it can be a little weirder. We'll get to that though. And then on piano, I would think about your body being the pulse keeper here. So if I'm feeling this on piano, I've got my body kind of feeling some part of that beat. It's a little bit more distributed, I think, when you're playing piano versus guitar, where it's a little bit more in your hands. But experiment with that, and you want to get really comfortable. This is the first. Let's just kind of get this back in our fingers. Feeling that pulse, and now here's the second partial. How about the first and second together? So we could go like, meaning we could go bum, bum, boo-da, bum, boo-da, dum, doo-da, right? That's really funky. And we're trying to make this feel good, right? We can do it like this. Again, I'm trying to get some motion in there that really lines up this. That way, when we go faster, and I wanted to do it like at 108. It's right there, right? And I really want to be able to lock that in and know the feeling of that. And the whole point of this grid exercise is that we're feeling every angle of the beat of a certain subdivision. So now moving on to the and. Let's go back to 60. Keep it chill. So this should be a little easier. So this is the and, right? Or the upbeat, just the 8th note upbeat. So this should be a down on guitar. You can even do like maybe use a thumb. So, sorry, I went to another thing. So you could kind of get into finger style even and use your thumb as the basis. Or you could just do one note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 down. So this should be a little bit easier, right? It's kind of square, but okay. So that's the third partial, and now here's the fourth partial. Boom, boom. This is my favorite. I love the upbeat 16s. So the E and the So this is funky, right? Again, just a G chord, G major 7, something, whatever you can play. If it's this. How about we go 1? We could do 1. You could do both. But I kind of like to separate these. So maybe we go. Or we can kind of, do just the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they try to feel good, right? Okay, so now let's review. Let's start. We'll just do like maybe 4 of each. Okay, we're gonna do 4 of the first partial, 4 of that second, 4 of that third, and 4 of the fourth. Okay, 1, just a G. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Really trying to get that even motion the whole time. One more time, 2. I'll play keys this time, and 1, 2, 3. And you might just, I'll do it again. So here's the second one. even try, no reference, try to play both hands. Now you can need to tap your foot, if you need something. And again, on guitar, you can do that too. You can kind of get really, I'm still kind of keeping my hand motion going, right? That's the secret. Get your body to play the rhythm, right? Not your head. Your head's bad at rhythm. Your body's good at rhythm. Okay? So this culminates, if you are interested, and I will link this below, in a thing called a grid exercise. A lot of drummers do this. A lot of drum lines do this. And it's a way to basically stack all these up in an orderly fashion. So we are practicing the first partial 4 times like we did, second 4 times, third 4 times, fourth 4 times. Go back to the first 2 times, and we do all 2 times. And then the last part of it, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in a row 1 time. And then you do that 4 times. I believe I'm doing it from memory correct. So just to demonstrate a little faster, just for time's sake, here's that partial exercise. Maybe not quite fast. My teacher brain is like, danger. So, okay. So not too bad. Let's give it a shot. See how you do, okay? And this will kind of clue you in on what you need to work on, right? So 1, 2, first partial. Third. The fourth. Back to the first. Second. Third. Fourth. First again. First. Second. Third. Fourth. First. Second. Third. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, and then end. Okay, so that's the idea. So I'll link that below. It's really, really cool, and it's a cool way to see that beat from about every angle. And then the next step, if you are interested in a bonus version of this exercise, which I will make another video for, but I'll mention it here, is a triplet grid. You can do grids with any rhythm, right? You can do them with 5 notes, and you can get weird. And then you can take this concept into other things that are grouped in a certain way. So I could have a 4-note grouping where I practice maybe pentatonic scales and 4-note groups, play them on different partials. So I won't go into that too much detail, but that would sound something like this. Or if I'm going like, right, like these 4-note groups, we can break up an E minor pentatonic. I could try that on every partial. So that's on the first partial, or sorry, second partial. Immediately gets weird, right? It's really, really cool sounding. And then we could do it on the third partial. 1. Right, and then the fourth partial will be 1, 2, done. I messed that up, but right, it's kind of tough. So I can work on it too. So that's what always happens is these things lead me to practice things by myself or for myself. I'm like, that's a blind spot. So that'll be it for today. I wanted to include one more exercise with this video, but I am long-winded and I do think these exercises have a lot of nuance. I wanted to work on them with you and take my time. So I will do that in another video. But until then, I hope this has been helpful. If you did like this video, I hope you can hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back every Thursday, and I'm going to be giving you unfiltered, obviously unedited, unproduced content that I think is helpful and that helps me. This is what I do all the time, right? And I'm just trying to spread the love and spread my understanding as I get it from others. I want to pass it along. So until next time, I will be back next Thursday, and I hope your practicing is fruitful and you have a great week. Thanks.